a troublemaker. I've been a late night player. I've been broke as a joke. I've been a money maker. I've been a record breaker, taking credit as an educator. I've been known to spit the flows and make it shaky, shaky thing. Popping, lock, and stop and let it hang. Watch us as we drop this hip hop, it's like it stings. We make a whole room drop and everybody sing. We want the funk. We gotta have that funk. We kick it old school. We think we're so cool. We take it back to the past. We gonna act a fool. Enough jumps, the middle finger make my yay.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Sports Buzz, a Fanatical View. I am your host, Scott D. Lewis, here live in studio, Comcast Cable, Channel 23, downtown Danbury, Connecticut, on this March 29th, opening day of the Major League Baseball season. Relatively nice day. Citi Field, certainly everybody felt like it was a nice day after the results that went down there at the park this afternoon. But it was a pretty good day. I actually got out and raked some leaves. Well, first of all, why was I raking leaves in spring?
Yeah, I mean, why were you raking leaves?
Well, I'm not going to get into a big, huge, climate change thing, but the fact that the leaves finally came down out of the trees in the last few snowstorms we had just this past month.
Right.
It's got to say something, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I still have snow in my backyard, so I can't really get to
Spring cleanup is involving a lot of leaf raking today, but I was out there a little bit trying to, get into the swing of maybe feeling like it's actually going to be nice and spring-like.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it was like 50 plus today.
Not a bad day for opening day.
No.
And certainly not a bad day for the Mets and maybe the other locals too, as we're waiting on some finals, as we are here from 6:30 to 7 live. If you want to call in, 203-792-4101. Be forewarned, there has been a possibility, or at least a statement made, that Strange Man will be calling in tonight, Bob. So we'll see what he has.
We'll see what strange stats he has.
Opening day, I would think, will be his topic of stat. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what that's all about. Let's say hello officially to my right-hand man and the top responder once again, back-to-back years, Mr. Bob Broad Jr.
Hello, Scott.
How you doing there, Bob? Another honor bestowed upon you.
Yes.
For fire police, top responder.
Yes.
So tell us all about it. How was the, what happened? How was the ceremony?
It was good. I mean, they go through the top 12 companies, and then they go to our 13th, which is what our entity is for fire police, and they gave it again to me. They
gave it to you, our guy right here, Mr. Bob Broad Jr. Sadly, I do not have a photo to commemorate such a thing. I'll look for those, and maybe we'll pop that up in the coming weeks. But congratulations again, Bob, and hats off to you and all the guys and girls out there who are doing things to keep everybody safe and get to these tragedies and other things that need your help to get everybody through. So nice job, Bob. All right, his show Spotlight on Tuesday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 12. Mike Toohey is directing the show again. His show Expose Cinema Friday nights at 9, Wednesdays at 1. We think the Met Maniac will join us at some point.
I imagine he will, and he will be as enlightened as I am.
Happy about the opening day festivities. Sad, however, to have lost a former Met, a two-time Met.
Yes.
Le Grand Orange, Rusty Staub, who played 23 seasons in the Bigs overall, multiple teams. Only player ever in Major League Baseball history to have 500 hits for 4 different teams.
Yes.
Houston, Detroit, Texas, the Mets, the Expos are the teams he was on.
Right.
Twice with the Mets. He ended with the Mets, right?
Yes, he did.
He didn't win the World Series with them. I thought he was on that team, but he left in '85. He had left,
yeah.
And then, of course, the Mets broke the Red Sox records in '86.
Right.
But in 1972, he was part of the team that got to the World Series, and he was a huge impact in that series against the Big Red Machine, hitting 3 home runs in the first 4 games of that series against Cincinnati, propelling them. And he got hurt, missed the first game of the World Series, but he came back and still batted .423, even though he played injured on that World Series team that did not win. So I don't think he ended up winning a World Series.
No.
He did not. But he's still a 6-time All-Star, finished about 200 hits shy of 3,000 hits, and just a great ambassador for the game, and just a really overall great clubhouse guy. Everybody loved Rusty Staub. What's your memories of Rusty Staub?
Well, 86. Let's see. Right before, back in what, 85.
85, right?
When he had his retirement. Mm-hmm. I remember them coming out all in red wigs.
Oh yeah.
And it was a very, it was a good day, and it was,
Uh-huh.
but he was a great player. I mean, he really would get into,
Yeah, and of course he was part of the Expos in their opening
Right.
days. He was early on with the Mets in their beginnings, so he was a big part of two franchises' beginnings. Played from 1963 to 1985.
Yeah, I still have a 63 rookie card, the
Oh,
4-player
wow.
card.
So a great one was
Yeah.
lost today at the age of 73, which was sad, especially on opening day, that it did happen. But the Mets did go out today, and they honored him, and they honored their fans with a nice 9-4 victory today over the St. Louis Cardinals. No love lost for the Cards.
No.
And it was Noah Syndergaard, who only the third Met to have multiple opening day starts
Right.
in their history. Seaver and Gooden, I believe, the other two guys.
Yep.
He's done it back-to-back before the age of 25.
Yeah.
Johan Santana was the last Met to go back-to-back years pitching on opening day. So good to see Syndergaard back healthy, ready
Yes,
to
it
go,
is.
dialed in, 98 on his first pitch. Looked great in that first inning. Mets had the big fifth inning, 5-run fifth. 10 guys in a
10
row
guys.
reached the plate, I believe. 12 hits overall. Is that the phone ringing? Is that Strange Man?
Is that the strange one?
All right, let me answer the phone here and hope that it is him. Hello, this is Sports Buzz. You are on the air?
Hey, Scotty, did someone say play ball?
Yes,
Yes, we
did,
did.
as a matter of fact. And you can be the one to say it for us. Hello, Strange Man. How you doing?
What's going on?
Not much. We're talking a little bit about opening day right here. We're congratulating Bob on his winning Top Responder Award once again for the Fire Police. So if you want to congratulate Bob, go right ahead.
Well, that's pretty impressive, Bob. Congratulations.
2 years
you.
in a row. Not
Oh, 2 years in a row or 3 years in a row?
two years in a row. Very
Oh,
good.
wow. That's really great. The first responders in the community, generally speaking, they do a great job.
Yes. Yes, they do.
So what did you think about the spring training record for the Red Sox? I thought it was pretty impressive.
22-9, I think. Those last two wins against the Cubs didn't count for the Grapefruit League, so I think they ended up with 24 wins.
Yeah.
Most wins of anybody in spring. You know, I don't put too much stock into, spring training or preseason, but winning is a nice thing to do, and they certainly played very well, so I'm not going to take anything away from them doing that, and it was nice to see them win. Right now I'm watching.
I know it doesn't count, but I mean, since the 2nd of March, the record was they only lost 7, they won 16, and they had one tie with Tampa Bay.
Yeah, so they really played well. Right now they're holding on against Tampa Bay. Chris Sale had a pitch shutout through 8 innings, but Joe Kelly is on the mound. Well, he was on the mound. He's just gotten pulled, giving up 2 runs. It is now 4-2 in the bottom of the 8th with only 1 out and the bases loaded for Tampa Bay. As the bullpen is trying to blow Alex Cora's opening day as manager and Chris Sale's a shutout.
That's nothing uncommon, right?
Well, 2 outs now as Carson Smith has come on and got somebody out there. Still bases loaded, however, as we take a look. And the Yankees are up 5-0. I believe that's maybe into the 9th now. How about that? Giancarlo Stanton, in his first at-bat for the New York Yankees, hits a 2-run home run in the first inning today.
Well, hey, Scotty, I want to talk about the Bronx dump on opening day.
Okay. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, listen, versus Tampa Bay, I think the Red Sox did pretty good in the springtime. They did not lose a game. They won 3, and again, 1 tie. But Chris did get hit, right? He got hit with something. I don't know. Was it a comebacker or something?
Yes, but he looked sharp today, fully recovered from that line drive that hit him on his hand, I believe. But he was fine today. He pitched a great shutout through 7, and the bullpen has come on and had a little problems here, Joe Kelly. But he's looked fine. He looked totally healthy, so he looked good. Their ace back on the mound to start the season.
Okay, I'm gonna read these stats.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it.
For you. On opening, hold on, I gotta switch hands here. Okay, so today is opening
the Mets
day.
Maniacs here.
Welcome to
Apparently, the
Mets.
game got started around 4:10 at Tropicana Field. It was great weather, Scotty. 77 degrees. How do they do it down there in Tropicana Field?
They closed the dome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, Chris Archer
Perfect
versus
weather.
Chris Sale.
Yes.
And that's the 2 of the AL's top 3 strikeout pitchers. Boston was coming off a second straight American League East title. And for the note is Tampa Bay was wondering if they can field a 500 team this year. So we'll see about that. Now, Chris Sale, 4-1 versus the Rays last year with a 2.66 ERA, 66 strikeouts in 6 starts, and he had 4 outings with 12 strikeouts. So that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sale is starting his 4th career opening day. He was 4-4 vs Rays entering 2017, but dominated them in helping Boston win a 11-8 season series last year. Sale went 17-8 last year with 2.90 ERA. And Archer was 1-1, 5.87 ERA career. His career against the Sox, he's only 2-12 versus the Sox.
Wow, they beat up
Although
on
he
Archer.
did win on April 14th, holding Boston to 1 run in 5 2/3 innings. But he didn't win any other start via Boston. Archer was 10-12 last year with a 4.07 ERA. He might be also on the mound for his 4th straight opening day. So
Here, Strangeman, Strangeman.
glad to see that the Red Sox are winning.
Strangeman, I got an interesting tidbit for you. Speaking of Chris Sale, what was the first game he went to as a spectator in his life?
A spectator?
Yes. His
I
dad
have
brought
no
him.
idea.
His dad brought him to see the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, as a matter of fact.
Really?
And he was wearing a Rays jersey. That was the first game, and it was opening day. His first game that he ever went to see
Cool.
as a youngster. So he had a lot of history right here. Oh boy, and it looks like the Red Sox just walked in a run, perhaps. Is that going to happen or no? Waiting on what I'm seeing here. No confirmation on that, but hopefully they hold on to win this game. This is going to be terrible if they blow his nice outing. What do you think of Alex Cora and the way he thinks he's been saying, and how it looks like he's going to run this team in his first season as a Red Sox manager? Strange man.
Yeah, well, hey, look, I did post on. Strange Man did post on ESPN.com. So if anybody wants to go on there, they go to the comments under Gamecast and we'll see my post. But it was an interesting post on there under preview. How the gentleman, I forget who it was, but the gentleman said, "I'm glad that Farrell is out of there. He should have been out of there in 2014." But I don't really know because, hey look, the Red Sox did win 2 straight American League East titles.
Yes, they did.
And, it's very strange that the Red Sox replaced Farrell.
I was not a fan of Farrell myself.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
looking to get him out of there. He did win the World Series. They did win. Oh my God! And Tampa Bay has now taken a 5-4 lead on a triple to right by Denard Spahn. So Chris Sale's outing has just been busted up by the
just blew it.
bullpen. Alex Cora is not going to be
all
happy.
that work shot.
as they give up 5 runs in the 8th inning, and it's going to be coming up to them to bat in the top of the 9th to get a win on opening day.
That might be my cue to go and check out the game. But listen, I do want to ask you 2 quick questions. Now, what do you think about the Bruins and the Celtics? And don't forget, the Celtics and the top team out in the West, they're both in the same boat because their best players are hurt. Celtics, best player with his knee, he has surgically repaired knee, and then out in Golden State, the top players out. So what do you think about those 2 things?
Well, I like the Bruins a lot. They're getting most of their injured players back, and they've played great, much like the Celtics, through the injuries. And they're all locked up for their postseason berth, much like the Celtics. They might end up with the number 1 seed. They're only 1 point behind right now, Tampa Bay. And they look like they will be fully healthy come playoffs. The Celtics, however, and the thing about the Bruins I really like is they're scoring in bunches, and they got everybody up and down the lineup is scoring. So they got a lot of people contributing on the offensive end. I like the way the puck is moving all around. But they've given up a few too many goals recently, maybe because of some of the injuries, and hopefully that improves as they get to the playoffs and everybody comes back healthy. So the Celtics are going to have a real trouble in the first round because, they're playing great. They're 4-0 on this road trip right now, 5 wins in a row without Irving, without Smart. Horford was out for some of these games. Marcus Morris was out for some of these games. Jaylen Brown just came back, hit the game winner last night in Utah. But, in the playoffs, they're going to be in a tough spot without those guys. Smart, their top defensive player, and Kyrie Irving, their best player overall. And in the East, we don't know who they're going to play. It could be, the Bucks. It could be the Heat, but it also could be the Wizards. And the Wizards would be a tough matchup in the first round when you're not at full strength. And it's now 6-4 Tampa Bay in the 9th as they continue to add on here as everything has fallen apart on opening day for the Red Sox.
The wheels are starting to come off.
Yeah. How about that for the bullpen? Not getting it done and just an utter collapse. So I am worried about the Celtics just because of the injuries and because the way the East is all bunched up. We don't know who they're going to play in that first round, and it probably won't be until the second round that we see either one of Smart or Irving back. The encouraging sign is that they've played great through the injuries, so we'll see how that goes when we get to that. All right.
Okay, well, listen, I'll let you go. And Bob, it's great that you won that award. And maybe I think Easter I'll be up at my sister's.
Okay.
And I will be re-owning her because I disowned her because she was on my stupid list. You know why she's on my stupid list?
No, we don't care about that, Strange Man. We got 10 minutes left in the show. You keep your family stuff to yourself.
No, she rooted it. She rooted for the underdogs in the Super Bowl. She didn't root for the Patriots. So I
she went for the Eagles.
All right, so listen, have a great rest of the show, and you take care, and everybody have a great Easter.
All right, happy Easter, Strange Man. Take care.
All right, take care.
Oh, my God.
Okay, onward to the next.
Wow, Bob. So Strange Man calls. Red Sox fall apart.
See?
I don't know.
Well, he must be on the ledge waiting for.
Jeez, this has just turned out to be terrible after such a great day. But anyways, we were talking about your Mets having a good day, 9-4.
Yes.
So I found it interesting, the lineup, Bob, the corner positions in the infield and the outfield. You got some guys, Gonzalez, Agon, and Frazier on the corners. You got Yoenis and call me Bruce.
Yep.
Jay Bruce is back. Interesting stuff. And what was up with the second baseman batting cleanup? He did not get a heat. Cabrera. I thought that was interesting lineup. And they also decided to go with the pitcher batting eighth.
Yes.
Which actually worked out because the number 9 guy did contribute. But
I think he's changing the lineup up a little bit because he's trying to, see what kind of a balance he has.
Yeah. So I don't know. Very interesting. But of course, the 9-4 victory to get it going is going to make everybody happy.
You get 10 guys to the plate. That's very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so it was a big fifth inning that propelled them. But they got the, run on an unearned run basically in the first inning. They gave up. Noah did the 2-run home run. After that, but they bounced right back and got 2 more runs to put them up 3-2, and then they had the 5-run inning. So it was a good overall day at Citi Field. We'll see how it goes. If the pitchers are healthy, the Mets will be fine.
Yeah, we'll be heading for the playoffs come October.
Yeah, you never know. So good day for the Mets. Looks like a good day for the Yankees.
Yes.
And bad day all of a sudden for the Red Sox as they head to the 9th inning down 6-4 after holding a 4-0 lead into the 8th. Terrible, terrible job. I mean, the Red Sox had inside the park home run today by Eduardo Nunez to get their offense up and running to start this game. But, it looks like unless they get a rally here in the top of the 9th, it's going to be a bad start to the season for the Red Sox. All right, the Strange Man mentioned a couple other things. We've mentioned the Bruins and the Celtics. I do want to mention in the NHL, your Rangers are eliminated as well as the Islanders eliminated. The Devils have won 3 in a row and 6 of the last 8. They are holding on, trying to make the playoffs for the first time since 2010, 2011.
Right.
Long drought for the Devils.
Yes, it has been.
A very storied franchise with the multiple Stanley Cups. Surprised that their drought has been that long. They're at 88 points with 76 games played. Florida is at 85 points with 75 games played. So Florida has that extra game to make up those points. And the Devils trying to hold on. Columbus right ahead with 91. And Pitt and Philly only with 92 right ahead of that.
Yeah, we were talking that before the show.
So those other teams, the Penguins, not safe. They got to continue to win or they could fall out. Bruins at 105, 1 point behind Tampa Bay for the top spot in the East. Toronto and the Capitals looking pretty good in their comfortable positions to make the playoffs. But Pitt and Philly not completely safe. Out west, Nashville, Winnipeg, Vegas, and San Jose. How about that, Vegas? The expansion team makes it.
Team, that's very impressive.
They've clinched a playoff spot. They are in. San Jose hasn't clinched, but they're comfortable where they are. Minnesota at 94, LA at 91, St. Louis, Anaheim at 91 as well. Colorado at 90 on the outside looking in right now, and Dallas at 86. Not much chance, but maybe only 5 points out. So some things still to be determined in both the East and the West.
Yeah.
I always keep my eye on the Avalanche, another franchise that's won multiple Stanley Cups.
Right.
And they, only 1 point out, so they're keeping the pressure on. St. Louis and Anaheim and LA still has the Connecticut kid, Jonathan Quick, in goal out there, and they've won their multiple Stanley Cups as well. They're all fighting for that playoff spot. We will see what happens there. We got to mention the Final Four, Bob. Let's get to that in a second. Let me just do the NBA quick to wrap it up, and then we'll finish with the Final Four. Celtics, we talked about the injuries at 52 and 23. They're pretty secure in their second seed. Toronto's 3 ahead of them at 55 and 20. 3 through 8 is 30 losses to 35 losses. So the Cavs and Philly with 30 losses, Pacers with 31. So a lot could change there, 3, 4, and 5. The Wizards at 33 losses at 6. Heat and Bucks 7 and 8 at 35. So, we really don't know who's going to play who.
Right. And
teams,
the Cavs, it's surprising since they had the big fire sale and
they've had their ups and downs since then. Kevin Love came back, but now he has concussion-like symptoms. And they lost to the Heat the other night. I think they bounced back with a win last night against Charlotte. But, it's all up in the air as far as who's going to play who.
Right.
If the Celtics can get the Heat or the Bucks, those would still be tough series, but it would be a little bit better than facing the Wizards.
Right.
The Pacers would be a tough time. And, of course, Philly and Cavs. Philly's played great in this bounce-back year with all the young players they have.
Right.
And out west, Strange Man did mention Steph Curry is out.
Right.
And he'll be out probably for all of the first round. And the same thing in the West with all these teams bunched up. You got the top 3 teams, Portland. At the 3 seed, Portland has 29 losses. The 4 seed, OKC, is 31. New Orleans, 32. San Antonio, 32. So those are not much difference.
No.
Minnesota and Utah at 33. Clippers outside looking in at 34. Denver, 35. I don't know. Only 5 and 6 games left, maybe. We'll see what happens with that. At least in the East, we know the top 8 teams that are going to be in. but we don't know in the West because the 9 and 10 teams
Right.
are right there as well. Only one game out, half game out. All right, so Final Four, it's Loyola, Michigan, Kansas, and Villanova. Also, we're going to mention on the ladies' side, Lady Huskies knocked off the defending champion South Carolina 94-65. They got the great matchup with Notre Dame in that rivalry. You know, it used to be the rivalry with Tennessee.
You're right.
It's been 11 years since those two teams have met, and now they had 6 matchups in the postseason. Now Notre Dame and UConn have 7. 7 in the Final Four. 5 of them have come in the semis now.
Right.
And Notre Dame has had their number at times. UConn has kind of turned the tide, winning the last 6. But there was plenty of times when Notre Dame had their number, beating them and taking care of business. So this should be a great game on Friday night. And Muffet McGraw still heading up that Notre Dame squad. And it's going to be good. Louisville and Mississippi State. Mississippi State was the team that knocked off UConn in the semifinal last year in that
Right.
shocking buzzer beater. And it's all 4 top seeds, so all number 1 seeds in the ladies' side. We'll see if the Lady Huskies can cut down the nets again and get back and win it. On the men's side, Loyola of Chicago is the Cinderella. Michigan, Kansas, and Villanova. There we see Sister Jean. Is she 98 years old or 92 years old?
She's in her
She's
90s.
old.
Yeah.
She's in her 90s.
Yeah.
How about this, Bob? Loyola faces Michigan.
Right.
Loyola has the one championship, the only team, college from the state of Illinois to ever win a championship in college.
Really?
So Illinois State, DePaul have never won.
Wow.
Crazy. So Loyola won theirs in 1963. Michigan has only won 1 championship as well. So Loyola of Chicago has 1 championship to Michigan's 1 championship. We remember 1989, it was the Glenn Rice team, but it was Ramil Robinson with the free throws in the final minutes, final seconds,
Right.
as a matter of fact, against Seton Hall. Great Seton Hall team coming out of the Big East. And they called that foul. Dubious foul, one of the more questionable calls in the tournament history, and Michigan went to the free throw line to win it. And on the other side, it's Nova versus Kansas. Nova won recently in 2005-16. Of course, everybody knows the miracle they won against Georgetown in 84 and 85. Kansas knocked off Duke in a thrilling overtime affair the other night. They've won it in 52, 88, and 2008, so only 3 for Kansas as well.
Are we live next week?
We are not live next week. I don't know about a taping as of right now, so we're not sure if we're going to be here to recap who won. It might be a couple weeks before you see us. We'll see if we can get in here or not next week to talk about the championships on the women and men's side. All right, I'm rooting for Loyola of Chicago, of course.
Oh yeah, I am. I would too.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if they can keep the Cinderella run going. It's going to be tough for them to do it. They do catch a little bit of a break as Villanova and Kansas, probably the top 2 teams, face it out in the semi, and they'll get Michigan and then the winner of that if they can get through Michigan. All right, we are out of here. Take care, and we'll see you next time.